Hi, I'm Lauren Peterson, and I'm here with Jody, Sashi, and Justin, and we're going to do a flow class that emphasizes arm balances. We're going to start easy. We're going to start in child's pose. So if you guys come to your knees, and you can have the hands however you want them, back or forward, or rest your forehead on the hands, and just take a couple moments, take a couple breaths to allow your focus to shift from outside, from wherever you're coming from, to inside, to into your own breath, to into your own body. So this time on your mat, this hour on your mat, is time for you to really nurture and nourish yourself. And in that mindset, make sure as you're doing this class, which is a challenging class, that you listen to your body over what I'm saying. So if something doesn't feel right for you, you stop where you are. So start to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Draw the air in through the nose, but towards the back of the throat. And in a pose like this, you might feel the breath come more into the back of the ribs, the back of the lungs. And slowly exhale out, primarily through the nose. Occasionally a sigh through the mouth is fine. And then from where you are here, I just want you to walk the fingers forward. We're still in child's pose, but we're making it a little bit more active. So like spiders walking out to the edge of the mat, just walk the fingers forward so you feel your shoulders starting to stretch, the arms get active, and take just one more breath like that. And then just come on up to the hands and the knees. And if they're not there already, move your palms right under the shoulders and have the knees right under the hips. And just loosen up your spine, push up into cat stretch. Go wide with the shoulder blades, tuck the chin in, tuck the tailbone in. Exhale there. And then inhale into dog tilt, also called cow tilt in some styles of yoga. So lift the chest up, lift the sit bones up. And then take a couple of those on your own, exhaling cat and inhaling dog, unless you feel particularly tight in one direction or the other. I'm fine with you taking an extra breath, maybe in the back bend or in the back stretch, maybe turning the chin a little side to side. So we're starting slowly, and I want you to really, again, take time to tune into what you're bringing to the mat today. Maybe you're fatigued, or maybe you're anxious to get moving faster. As you're here moving slowly, also just kind of feel places in your body that maybe feel a little locked or tight. And also get the breath moving. And then just come to a neutral spine, so not cat or dog. And we're going to come into plank pose. Just take the hands a little forward, straighten the legs, and hold yourself here for 5 breaths. So arm balances, I used to think arm balances when I couldn't do them were all about the arms, but as I got better at them, I realized they're a lot about the core. So we're gonna here start to wake up the core. As you exhale, feel the navel pull in towards the spine, let the shoulder blades draw in towards your back. So you're not hunching the back and you're not sinking the back. So try to pull everything towards the center line. And take just one more breath here, and then lift your hips and pull back into a downward facing dog. Now notice how the weight is on the hands. Try not to sink into the heels of the hands, but press out into the palms of the hands as though you're making a handprint. A lot of us either got from our kids or made for our moms those plaster handprints, like you're making one of those plaster handprints, and you want every bit of your hand pressing down evenly. And that will, I promise you, save your wrists as you get into more and more arm balances. And then inhale to plank pose again, and you're gonna simply bring the right thigh into the chest, the knee up towards the chin, and hold it here for 5 breaths. So again, waking up the core too. Lift the foot as high off the floor as you can. If you at home are having trouble with this, just touch a toe. 3 and 4. And lift it up, 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 5. Now, straighten the leg, almost take it to plank pose, but keep the foot just an inch off the floor. And exhale, take the knee to the right shoulder. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and straighten the leg and take it to the left shoulder. 1. So here you get the obliques. 2, 3, 4, 5, and come to down dog. So now down dog's like a resting pose. Take a great big breath here. Big inhale, big exhale. And we'll do that the other side. Come to plank pose and take the left thigh into the chest for 5 breaths. 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and straighten, beautiful, and take it to the left arm. 1, left shoulder. 2, 3, 4, 5, and straighten and bring it across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it to plank pose and then lay down on your belly. Just come all the way down. Take the hands back, turn the head to the left for a couple of breaths. And just really let yourself relax. Let your shoulders sink down into the floor. Let your body get heavy. So when you come to rest, really let yourself go. You'll need it. And then bring the head center and come up onto your forearms. So take the elbows as narrow as your shoulders and have the wrists as wide as your shoulders, leaving the forearms parallel to each other. We're going to take sphinx pose. Press down into the elbows and lift your sternum up, and then drag the elbows back to pull the rib cage forward. So you're trying to get a little traction in your lower back, a little length in the lower back. And now here you can see my collarbones kind of pushing out. See if you can pull the shoulders back to open up the sternum more. So it's like you're squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. And then gently push the tops of the toes down into the floor. So that actually helps relax your back. So relax the lower back, lengthen, and pull the chest forward. And pull it forward, forward, forward. Now, interlace the fingers, press down into the wrists, and we're going to lift the hips off. Again, this is core. We're going to do forearm plank, and just lift the hips off for 10 breaths. 1. And each time you exhale, feel the navel draw in towards the spine. 2. Feel the ribs expand as you inhale. 3. Press into the balls of the feet. And 4. 5. Try to stay calm. Relax the face, relax the jaw. 6. 7. And if it's too much, take your knees down. 8. Just 2 more breaths. 9. And pull the navel in. 10, and let the thighs come down, and let the hands come back, and turn your head left. So rest on the other side. And take a few breaths there. And again, just let the shoulders relax, let the legs relax. Big, deep breaths. Beautiful. And then take the head center, and once again come into sphinx pose. So press down into the elbows, pull the chest forward, and then turn the toes under, and once again come into plank pose on the elbows. And then I want you to bring the left arm across to the right, take both heels to the left, and come into a side plank. 1. If you need to, touch the bottom knee down. 2. Just 5 breaths. And 3, if you want to, you can stack the right foot on the left 4. It's a little more balancy. And 5, and come on back down, come back to the forearms, and we'll right away go to the other side. Bring the right arm across towards the left, take both heels to the right, bring the left arm up. 1. And if you want, stack the feet or have both feet down. 2. It's a lot more core than you'd expect. 3. And 4. And 5, and take both forearms down again, so we're back in plank. We're going to walk the toes in a little bit. We're in a dolphin pose, but with the hands apart. It's a forearm balance prep, Pinchamayurasana prep. Pull the shoulders back. Feel the shoulders open. Press down into the palms. And then if you can, from here, you're going to just push into down dog or go to your knees and come up into down dog. So if you can, you're going to push the elbows straight. If that didn't work for you, come to the knees, come onto the hands and knees, and we'll all be in down dog. And this time in down dog, I encourage my students just to do whatever feels good. If you want to bend one knee, stretch the other foot. If you want to lift the heels and bend both knees, you can turn the head a little bit side to side. Yeah, take a leg up, whatever's feeling good to you. And then when you're ready, when you've had enough of this, just walk your feet forward. Just walk this first one forward and come into Uttanasana. If you feel a little tight in your back or hamstrings, feel free to bend the knees. Here, the feet can be apart at this point or together. It's up to you. You could let the arms hang, take them onto your legs, or grab the elbows. You could move around a little bit, turn the head a little bit. So it's important to let yourself take little breaks, even as you're doing poses. Find the places that you don't need to be working hard. And then with an inhale, take the hands to the shins, unless you can easily reach the floor, and come to Ardha Uttanasana halfway up, lift the chest, and exhale, fold down. And if you hadn't done it before, take the feet together. And Ardha Uttanasana, you can bend the knees, especially if you have back things, and exhale down if you have any back trouble. And one more time, halfway up, inhale, come halfway up, exhale, stay halfway up. And inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up and exhale, let the hands come to the side or right down the middle. And we're gonna go into a slow Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, sweep the arms up, slow because we're gonna hold the back bend. And exhale, fold forward. Come to Ardha Uttanasana, half Uttanasana, inhale, bend the knees. Step this first one back, step back and hold plank just a breath, inhale. Now you can lower to the floor like we did last time and come to Cobra Pose. Lower down and inhale to Cobra Pose. We're going to stay 5 breaths. If you want to work your way up into upward facing dog, turn the toes under, lift the thighs, roll over the feet, pull the hips towards the wrists, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, 3. So Cobra Pose with the thighs down or upward facing dog, 4. And if you're in Cobra, the elbows are a little bit bent, and 5. This is what I don't want to see, straight arms with the thighs down. Okay. And then come into down dog. You're always welcome to go to the knees, or you'll see some of my students here not touching the floor, just the hands and the feet touching the floor. Take a couple breaths here. And you can again walk forward or feel free to hop your feet forward if that's something you're comfortable with. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come all the way up. And either open the arms to the side or take them right down the middle. And we'll flow this one. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Open up and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, take the chest up. You can step back or hop the feet back. If you hop back, don't land with locked elbows. Soften the elbows. Inhale to up dog or Cobra Pose. And exhale, come to downward facing dog. Hold this down dog, 5 breaths. It's a good time if you need it to go to child's pose and take a little break. 1. Feel the ribs expand as you inhale. Draw the belly in as you exhale, 2. The navel in towards the spine, and inhale. Again, feel the weight across the whole palm of the hand, 3. And 4. And again, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come up with a flat back. And exhale, take the hands to the side or right down the middle. Now inhale, come into chair pose, Uttakasana. We're going to hold this one for 5 breaths. 1. Sit back towards your heels, looking forward or up. 2. Palms inward. If you can take the hands together without hunching the shoulders up around the ears, you can take them together. If not, keep them apart. 3. So try to find the softness, the sukha, in the pose. We know that there's the strength in this pose, the stability, shira. And take one more inhale and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, step or jump back, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog, stay in down dog. Simply bend the right knee for a breath or two. Just bend the right knee, let the left heel stretch down. And then right from here, step the right foot forward inside the right hand and just hold high lunge, lunge with the knee straight for 5 breaths. 1. You can have the hands down or come up onto the fingertips too. And see, I'm moving a little bit forward and back. Feel free to explore. Hip flexors, 3, quadricep, and 4. And then drop the back heel down. So heel to heel or a little bit wider. Make sure your feet aren't like you're on a balance beam. Square the shoulders, come into Virabhadrasana 1. Look forward or up for 5 breaths. 1. Feel both feet rooted. And 2. And 3, pull the navel in towards the spine as you exhale. Beautiful. 4. And exhale, take the hands down and step back. Just lift the foot, step back. Now, anytime I say go to down dog, make your way to down dog. You can go straight to down dog or chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. If it's all just a little much for you, leave out some of those chaturangas. Simply bend the left leg, stretch the right heel down for a couple breaths. Let the calf and the Achilles and the hamstring open up on the right side. But try to keep the weight even on the hands. And then with an exhale, using that Uddiyana Bandha, that core strength, step the left foot forward inside the left hand. If it doesn't make it where you want it, just grab the foot and pull it up. Stretch here, 5 breaths. And I always like to move around a little bit with this, see how the hip flexors are feeling that day. And take the back heel down, heel to heel or a little bit wider. Square the shoulders with the mat, then there's a better chance they'll be square when you come on up for 5 breaths. 1, palms in, maybe touching, maybe not. 2, gaze forward or up. And 3. And now, like we took time to make handprints, make footprints for. How is that back foot? Do you have the whole foot down, even inside and outside? And take the hands down, let the back heel come up, make your way to down dog. So if you're tired, straight to down dog or chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And just take 2 breaths here. And take 1 more inhale, and on the 3rd exhale, walk or hop forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees, chair pose, Uttakasana, straighten up, take the hands down, and we'll put that all together, Surya Namaskara B. Inhale to chair, Uttakasana, and exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Halfway up, inhale, step or jump back to Chaturanga. That's an exhale. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog, step forward, left heel down. When the feet are down, inhale the arms up and down, and step back, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, left foot forward, right heel down. Inhale to Virabhadrasana 1. And exhale, chaturanga. Take extra breaths if you need to. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here, 1. And again, this is a good time if you need it to go to child's pose too. Very nice. And 3, so make sure your feet are parallel, the heels straight back. And 4, that's it, beautiful. It's not much adjusting to do, these guys, they're so good. And walk or jump up. Inhale, lift the chest up. exhale, fold. Bend the knees, chair, Uttanasana, and straighten up and take the hands down. So we're going to move back about a third of the way on the mat and turn the feet out and come into a squat. So if you can. If you have trouble squatting, you can sit yourself on a block like this, okay? Take the arms inside the knees and gently press the knees open and lift the chest up. Take a couple breaths there. So if you're in the squat pretty comfortably, which everybody here is, try to get your back up a little bit straighter. Just press the knees open a little bit more. A lot of you might have the heels off the floor. Feel free to have an extra mat, roll it up, put it under, or roll up the mat from the back. Or if you have a towel or something, you can put them under your heels. You can do this with the heels up, it's fine. And take one more inhale, lift the chest up, and then just walk the hands out in front of you and let the back round. Just let your ribs go inside the thighs. Just kind of crawl forward with the hands. And you can let the head drop down. Just breathe. I like to move around a little bit with this. Breathe into your back, open up your back. Great, so everybody's got their shoulders inside the knees here. Now I want you to squeeze the outside of the shoulders with the knees and come up on tippy toe. And then place the hands onto the mat. We're working to the first arm balancing pose, which is crow pose, Bakasana. So lift your heels up, squeeze the outside of the shoulders with the knees. Raise your hips up, round the back bird-like, and then lean forward. Your feet might not come off the floor today, or you might get one foot off. If you can get both feet off, go for it. And I think most of the students here are doing beautifully. And if you need more of a challenge, once you're up in crow pose, maybe you can take the right knee to your chest. So you're on just one leg. And of course, place it back. And then the left knee to the chest, if you need a challenge. Takes a ton of core to do what he's doing here. Beautiful. And then touch the feet for a moment. Take a little breather. You can come to the back to the squat. Now, if you can get your feet up off the floor in crow pose, you can jump to chaturanga. A lot of students don't think they can, or they're a little bit afraid of, just collapsing. But the key is to take your chest forward. To look forward, take the chest forward. And if you really shoot your legs back, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to land on your belly. So the worst thing to do is stop halfway and then you land on your knees. So if anyone who wants to try jumping back, we'll do crow pose one more time. So take the knees to the outside of the shoulders, squeeze the shoulders with the knees, lift the hips, pull the heels in towards the sit bones, and then look forward and think about shooting your chest forward and your legs back. Maybe chaturanga, maybe you land on the floor. And then upward facing dog. Inhale, and downward facing dog. Exhale. Beautiful. Take a great big inhale and a great big exhale. If you want, you can exhale through the mouth. Just sigh it out. And now while we're here, take your right leg up. You can square the hips, or you can open the right hip, or you can bend the knee, whatever feels good for 5 breaths, 2. And 3. Keep the weight even in the hands, though, and even in the shoulders, 4. Nice. And reach it up, 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 5. And exhale, step forward. Come again to Virabhadrasana 1, inhale. And now we're going to open up into Virabhadrasana 2, exhale. And hold it here for 5 breaths, 1. So you have the arms parallel. The gaze goes to the right hand, middle finger, 2. If possible, if the hips are open enough and the legs strong enough, your right thigh is parallel to the floor, 3. Just relax the fingers a little bit, beautiful. And 4. And the drishti, or the gaze, right hand, middle finger, nice. And 5. And then just 1 breath, stretch it back, turn the palm up, inhale, and stretch it out there, exhale. Inhale, come on up and reach back behind you. Now interlace the fingers, take the right hand over the left, and straighten the elbows. Inhale, and take the rib cage just inside the thigh, exhale. And take 5 breaths here, 1. So let the shoulders stretch, relax your neck, breathe, 2. 3. Back leg super solid. Try to keep weight in that back foot. 4. And 5. Now we're going to take both hands down inside the leg. So move your right foot a little bit to the right. Let the back heel come up. Take the left knee down. And if you can, come to the elbows. So if your elbows don't reach the floor and you have a block or something, just put your elbow on a block. Take a couple breaths there. So working into the right hamstring and the left hip and quadricep. Now this next pose, working up to the next pose, which is a challenging pose, we're going to take in stages, and wherever you get to is fine. First thing we're going to do is straighten the back leg. Just push the knees straight. So that gets us more deeply into the hip flexors and the right hamstring. And then take the left heel, back heel down. So that's going to raise the hips a little bit higher. And those of you who can, slide the shoulder under the knee. So bring the right shoulder under the knee. And we'll take a moment here. You might grab the ankle or pull the head to the ankle. I don't know if any of you guys can take the head under for a breath. That's kind of an interesting back stretch. If you did take the head under, slide it back out. Now you've got the shoulder under the knee. Take both hands onto the mat and start to walk the right foot a little bit towards the left. So phase 1 of this is just lifting the foot up, like you're doing a push-up with the leg behind your arm. Maybe that's where you are. Maybe you stay with this. Next phase, maybe take the left hand up so you're on the right hand, okay? If you have open hamstrings, you might be able to grab a hold of the right foot and take it out straight, Vivasmitrasana, or just take the arm up. Another version of Vivasmitrasana, beautiful. Wherever you get to is great. Take one more breath there, and then take both hands down. If you can, keep the right foot up, and maybe you take it down. Maybe you go into Kaundinyasana, float the back leg up, and breathe. And make your way to down dog. You might step back, you might crawl back, it's all okay. And back in down dog, just take a couple breaths. You can walk it out if you want to. And then take the left leg up and do whatever you want with it. Square the hips, open the hip, bend the knee if you like. Just try to keep the weight even in the hands. And inhale, take the leg up straight. Exhale, step forward. Come into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Inhale. And open up to Warrior 2. Exhale and hold it here. Look to the left hand middle finger 2. Relax the shoulders and reach out. And notice if you tend to hold tension in your fingers. 3. So straighten you up a little bit there. 4. Nice, beautiful. See if you can bend that knee a little deeper. Yeah. And turn the left palm up and stretch it back. Just one breath. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Take the hands behind you, left hand over right this time. So you can even check if you're not sure. Straighten the elbows. Inhale, and just inside the thigh, come forward. Take 5 breaths here. 1 in Humble Warrior. And 2, and try not to lose your back foot. 3. Sashi, see if you can let your right shoulder, the outside one, drop down a little more. 4. So you're facing towards the ground. And then take both hands inside the leg. Scoot the left foot a little bit over to the left. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. Let the back knee go down. And here's where, if you can get to an elbow or both of them, go ahead there. Maybe use the block. And just kind of explore the quadricep on the right side, the hip flexors on the left, working deeper into the hips for that next pose, which requires a lot of flexibility. And then straighten the back knee. That brings you up a little bit higher. Turn the back heel down. That opens up the right hip a little bit. See if you can sneak the left shoulder under your leg. And here you might grab the ankle or not. You might pull the head towards the leg or under. And then with the shoulder tucked as far under the knee as you can get it, take both hands down, start to inch the left foot towards the right, and you'll move the left hand back into place. Maybe you lift the foot up. Maybe that's it. Maybe you get lighter on the right hand. That could be it. Or maybe this is up. Ah. Or maybe you grab the foot, stretch it out if you've got the hamstrings for it. Or extend it up. Or, and coming out of it, maybe Galavasana. So if you can, whoops, I said the wrong pose. How about Kaundinyasana, Galavasana? I'm giving it away. We're coming up to that. And shoot it back. And up dog. And downward facing dog. Good. Take a couple breaths here. And we'll take a little break for the wrists. Walk or hop up. Inhale, take the chest up. Exhale, fold, and just toe heel the feet apart. And we'll take Pada Hastasana. I want you to slide the palms right under the feet. And maybe you can massage your wrists with your toes. I like to do that. Massage the palms of the hands with the balls of the feet. Feel free to turn the head side to side. If you're really flexible, bend the elbows. So you're stretching out the lower back and the hamstrings. If need be, bend the knees a little bit. Beautiful. And then inhale, lift the chest up. And take the hands out from under the feet, exhale. Take the hands to the hips, inhale, just stand yourself up. You can soften the knees a little bit coming up and take the feet together. Inhale, chair pose, Uttakasana, and exhale, fold forward. Come halfway up, inhale, step or jump back to Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up behind you, and exhale, step forward. Take the back heel down. Just one breath. You're going to inhale to Virabhadrasana 1 and take the hands right back down, exhale. You're going to step the left foot in a little bit closer and straighten both legs. Inhale and exhale, fold towards your leg. We're not going to stay here long, but we're going to come back. Take the hands to the hips, inhale, come on up. Now, bring the arms up and bend your left elbow and grab a hold of the elbow. Just give the shoulder a little stretch. And then reach down with the right hand. Now, if you find your hands, grab the hands behind you. If you don't, if you have a strap or a belt at home, feel free to grab a belt and you can put that. And these guys have all got their hands, okay? But if it doesn't work out for you, just use a belt. And then you're going to inhale, and if it's okay physically for you, take a forward bend with this. So the left elbow forward, and you're gently pulling the right hip back. So you're facing your leg. Breathe. So you're welcome to stay standing up or folding forward. Beautiful. And then push down into your foot to inhale, come on up. So now we're already pulling the left shoulder forward. We're going to continue in that direction and reach out with the left hand and reach open with the right. And take a big inhale here. The next pose we're going into is revolved triangle pose. Good chance you might need a block for this. You're welcome to grab a block and put it inside or outside the foot. Maybe the hand makes it to the foot or the leg. Eventually it goes all the way outside the foot to the floor. Try to stack the right shoulder over the left, looking sideways or up. So really strong base, your legs, your hips, but there's a bit of a softness. Anytime you're taking a twist, a bit of a surrender. In the Yoga Sutras, they talk about practicing asana with shira and sukha, steadiness and ease. So find the ease. Now simply look down exhale. Reach out with the left arm, inhale. And like a cartwheel, open up your arms. Readjust the feet if you need to for triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Let the hips shift to the left, reach out to the right. You might use the block again, hand on the block outside the foot, or maybe the hand goes to the shin or the ankle. In the Ashtanga practice, they take the toe. Some practices, they take the hand to the floor. Beautiful. Most important, the whole body is energized but not tense. So there's energy coming up the legs, out both sides of the waist, stacking the shoulder over the shoulder and the wrist up over the shoulder. Root the feet, spread out the toes. Notice if you're gripping the mat with your toes. Now, with the legs straight, you're going to inhale, come on up, okay? Turn the right palm up. Take a stretch back with the legs straight. Exhale here, and inhale, come up again. We're going to go a little bit wider and bend the right leg. So it's back to warrior two, okay? Turn your chest open towards the side wall. We're going to take eagle pose arms with the left elbow under the right. So wrap the left elbow under the right and cross at the wrists if you can. Now, if your shoulders are tight, here you might choose to just grab the opposite shoulder, but try to get the elbows to pass each other. Or you can have the hands back to back. So from eagle pose here, relax your shoulders down, lift the elbows up a little bit, and like a karate chop, move the hands forward. So that's going to stretch those triceps. Now we're going to come into crescent pose. You're going to turn towards the front of your mat and pop the back heel up. And this is going to get our hips and shoulders in a better position for the pose we're going to, which is eagle pose. I'm going to get that out of the way. So hips and shoulders are squared. You're on the ball of the back foot. Raise the left knee up towards your elbows, okay? And then cross the left leg over the right. If you can double cross and tuck the foot behind, do, and you'll lower down into eagle. There's a good chance you won't be able to get to there, so you're welcome to just cross at the knees and even touch the toe, all right? Or if you can't cross at the knees, to here. Just a breath or two more. Fantastic. Now we're going to undo the arms. Take the arms up like chair pose arms. And unhook the foot, and we're going to go into like a one-legged chair pose. Take the ankle onto the knee and sit yourself down. And take one more inhale, reach up, 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 and then just reach down for the floor. And you might hop back a little bit so your hands can be on the mat if you're at the front of the mat. And here's the pose I was giving away a moment ago. Galavasana we're working towards. So see if you can take the left leg across both arms, the knee to the left, the ankle to the right. Already it's a great hip stretch, whether you go further or not. Next phase, lift the heel. Maybe lean forward and lift the leg. Just the foot, or extend the leg all the way out. Okay, so you work that wherever you can work it. More core than arms, I promise you. Good. And if you're able to float it back to chaturanga from there, go for it. Or however you get out is great. We'll meet up in down dog. Beautiful, Justin. Good. And take a breath or two in down dog, or take child's pose now if you want. If you're feeling like you need it, this is a good time. And then inhale, take the left leg up behind you. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, come into Virabhadrasana 1, just one breath. And exhale, take the hands down. And step in a little bit closer. Inhale. And exhale, fold down over the leg. Now root the feet, take the hands to the hips. Inhale, come on up. Sweep the arms up and grab a hold of the right elbow. And give it a stretch. And then take the left arm down and up, and either use your strap or grab your hands. So these are Gomukhasana, cow face pose arms. And once you've got the hands and got the strap, whatever you need, inhale, lift up, and if you're adding the forward fold, go ahead forward. Try to square the hips and let the right elbow go towards the left leg. Breathing. Good. Keep both legs active. So those of us who have a tendency to hyperextend like I do, you got to watch that you don't lock back into the knee. That's it, Jody. Even keep, for some of us, a micro bend happening. And then pulling forward with the right elbow, inhale, come on up. And then just take the right arm forward and take the left arm open. Open your chest up towards the side for revolved triangle pose. Grab your block if you need it. So you can have the block inside or outside the foot, wherever you can get it to. You might be here, which is fine. Trying to stack the left shoulder over the right, lengthening the spine. Both feet root that back foot. And then just look down. There's your right hand. Reach out with it. Inhale, and let it help open you up. Exhale. Readjust the feet if you need to take Utthita extended Trikonasana triangle pose. So maybe the hand comes to the shin. One thing you don't want to watch is that you lean into the knee. You don't want to do that. Or maybe it's on the ankle or the foot, or Ashtanga style, taking the big toe, or on a block. Yeah, you can maybe use the block if you want to, no? Both sides of the waist long, this right up over the shoulder. Yes, beautiful. And then inhale, come on up, and turn the palm up, and exhale, stretch it back. And inhale, step a little bit wider, and exhale to Virabhadrasana 2. Take the right elbow under the left, eagle pose arms. So first we're facing the side, root both feet. Relax the shoulders down. So getting into the hips and getting into the shoulders, and then shoulders down, elbows up, and just kind of karate chop your hands forward. So whether you get the legs going or not, this is a great work for the shoulders, yes. And then start to make your way around towards the front. So we'll come into crescent pose so we get the hips and shoulders squared for eagle pose. So right under left, switch the arms. Take the other one under, there you go. That's it. And then pull the right knee up towards your elbows. Cross it over. If you can, tuck the foot behind. So even this, you wouldn't think it, but there's a lot of core work involved in keeping that center. So we're twisted up, but the elbows are over the knees, the shoulders are over the hips. And that blend of shira, steadiness, and sukha, ease, to be able to get into it. And let the arms come up like chair, and unhook the foot and come into a one-legged chair. So a lot of Uddiyana Bandha here, a little Mula Bandha lift up from the root of the pelvis. Sit down a little deeper, reach up a little higher, and then touch the floor. And whether you get the foot up or not, I love just this stretch. It's a nice hip stretch. Make sure you have some mat. If you're a little scared, you can put a pillow there. Take the leg across the arms. Play with leaning, maybe lift the foot. Maybe extend the leg. And this is another one. If you're going to jump it back, you actually float it forward, the chest forward. Whoo, and lift your face. And we'll meet up in down dog. So up and downward facing dog. Beautiful. So we're going to go to sitting. If you can hop through, hop it through. If you want to start to hop it through, you could hop, he's got it. You could hop to like a cross-legged pose or a squat, and then the key is try to pull the legs through before you sit down. So we're sitting. So let's take, for a moment, just this is Dandasana pose. So Samastitihi is when we're at the front of the mat standing, like preparing to do sun salutes. I call Dandasana the Samastitihi of sitting poses. It sets you up for the sitting poses to come, so it gets you aligned. So just take a breath or two here, stacking the shoulders over the hips. And then we're going to bend the right knee, come into a pose called Marichasana A. The Marichasanas are squat poses, so there's several of them. I know 8 different Marichasanas, but they all have one leg attempting to do this. So bring the right knee up towards the right shoulder. And there's space you'll see between my right ankle and left inner thigh because I want this straight up and down. Now, if you can, sneak your shoulder in front of the shin. And maybe this is it. Maybe you get to there. Some of you can reach around and wrap. And the more you go forward with this, the more likely it is your right sit bone is going to come up. And it's okay if it comes up. It's allowed to come up for this pose. So you're trying to keep the knee straight up and down. And just bring the chin towards the inside of the shin. And breathe and open up your back. How are we doing? Great. So scoot your right foot a little bit to the right. Yeah. Perfect. So everybody in here has got the shoulder in front of the shin. We're going to leave the leg like that, okay? We're going to leave the shoulder in front, and you're going to sit up. So your foot's going to come off the floor. Just sit up and let the foot come off the floor. Now grab a hold of the right foot and bring it across towards maybe the left elbow. So it's kind of like you're cradling the foot, like that. You can even rock a little bit. If you can't get the elbow there, just hold it. Move. And then this is kind of like what we were doing on our feet, bringing the shoulder under. You're going to bring now the knee behind the shoulder. So in a way, we've been there before already today. So see if you can tuck your shoulder or your arm under the leg. Yeah. Now you sort of have to pull everything towards center. So pull the knee in towards the shoulder and put your hands down. So you use up a little bit of core strength even to keep that leg in there. And then maybe you can lift your hips up and lift your leg up. So if you're not able to do that, you could put a block in front of you and see if that works for you. Okay? And then set it down for just a breather. And then we're going to go into a pose called Ashtavakrasana, the eight crooks pose. Supposedly 8 angles in this pose. So press down and lift up like we did before, and then see if you can cross the left ankle over the right and push the legs out, and then you dip down like you're doing chaturanga, like this. So wherever you get to, just work it there. And then bring it up, beautiful, and sit it down. And we'll try side 2. With that. So come to Dandasana. Your shoulders up, your legs straight. And then bring the left knee up. Have a little space between the inner foot and the inner thigh. And come into the Marichyasana. Try to work the shoulder in front of the shin. Breathing the whole time. Let your sacrum and your back open up. Maybe bind it here. If you can't bind, you can reach forward and just keep the elbow there. And then keep the shoulder in front of the shin and just sit up. So the foot's going to pop up off the floor. Okay? So we're trying to keep the knee right behind the back. Now grab a hold of the foot with the right hand, left foot, right hand, and bring it across. If you can cradle it, and work that hip open. And then see if you can sneak the knee behind the shoulder. And then use a little bit of core, a little bit of inner thigh to try to keep the leg up there. Take the hands down, and maybe you pick it up here, kind of a test run. Pull everything towards center and give it a break, and pull it up again. And now we'll go for the Ashtavakrasana pose. Pick it up, maybe cross the right ankle over the left, extend out, and dip it down. And bring it up again. And take a little Paschimottanasana here. Inhale up, and exhale, fold forward. And I've got such a great group of yogis here, we'll try one more. We'll throw one more arm balance in. So this one, everybody can do some of. So you're going to sit up again and simply bend your knees, take the hands behind you. So just a little bit of a bend in the knee. And bring the right ankle onto the left knee. And I love this hip stretch just there. If you don't go any further than this, it's worth your time. So you can push the right knee open and start to inch your chest a little closer in towards the ankle as the right knee opens up. So again, feel free to stay just with this, or take the left hand back a little bit. You can start by this twist that we're going into by grabbing a hold of the left knee with the right hand and just twisting around, coming across. Maybe that's as far as you go. Or see if you can get the elbow into the instep of the foot. Can you go there? And then see if you can slide the shoulder closer to the instep of the foot. So slide it down. And I'm inching my left foot in a little closer as I get the shoulder closer to the foot. So if you can, with this next pose, you're actually going to stand on your right arm. You'll stand up on the left foot first and lift your hips up, take both hands to the floor. So just bring yourself up, and you can see I'm standing on my arm, and I'm going to position the left arm also up and come into, I've heard this called Grasshopper or Dragonfly. So like that. Excellent. So this one takes a bit of twisty flexibility. There, everybody's got it. And sit yourself down. Let's, between sides, just come into a little Baddha Konasana. Let the knees open up. Maybe sit tall. So you might feel a little off. You are a little off. We've done one side. But we'll get it all evened out. If you can fold forward, fold forward. And come on up and take the knees up. Bring the feet out in front of you and bring the left ankle to the right knee. And scoot yourself close. Explore side two. They're not always the same. And you might grab the knee, start that twist, lengthen your spine. Or bring the elbow in, press against it, roll the right shoulder open, twist around, and then slowly slide the shoulder closer and closer to the instep. So you're sliding your foot up the arm. And then to come into the balance, you actually stand on the right foot. So take the hands down, lift your hips up, and the foot and the leg maybe go on the arm. Into Grasshopper or Dragonfly. Fantastic. Core, core, core. See, these guys have it without the second leg, which is even harder. Good, and sit down. And you guys go once again to Baddha Konasana. Do whatever kind of shakeouts you need. I'm going to give you a little stretch there. Good work. The tough stuff is done. Now remember, when you're playing with arm balances, to make it play. If you don't get the finished pose, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the work. The first time I saw Bakasana, crow pose, which was the first arm balance we did, I thought I would never do it. I was certain it was like for other people, not for me. And then a few thousand hours of yoga later, I was doing things I never thought I'd do. But I always tell my students, a consistent practice and time is the secret. So just consistently showing up, whether it's for 20 minutes or 3 hours, and giving yourself time and having patience with yourself. And you never know what you might be doing. So go ahead and you guys that I'm done adjusting, lay down on your back in the same pose. You can, if you need to scoot forward on the mat, do. Just allow yourself to lay back in Supta Baddha Konasana for a few breaths. Hands can be wherever you want them, maybe on your abdomen or to the sides, or if you want to add a little shoulder stretch, you can take the elbows up and over. Just take a couple big deep breaths. And then take the hands to the outside of the knees and press the knees together and walk the feet apart to the edge of the mat and turn your toes in and drop your knees inward. And then walk the feet to hip distance and lift your pelvis up for bridge pose, Septibandha Sarvangasana. So different options with the arms. If you can clasp the hands behind you, you can do that, and it makes it easier to scoot the shoulders open. If you have trouble clasping the hands, you could grab the edge of the mat and use the mat, kind of press out to lift your sternum up, lift your chest up, the hips up, the knees straight ahead. Make sure you feel the inside of the feet. So turn your toes in, especially the right foot a little bit, Sashiyan. Feel that part of your foot, that's good, and spread out those toes again. Chest up towards the chin, beautiful. So I'm gonna give you a couple options from here. All my students here have blocks. If you wanna go a little mellower, you might grab that block and put it under your lower back and do supported bridge pose. Or if you wanna go a little deeper, get a back bend in today, take the hands under the shoulders. You can come down if you want. Position the hands for Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward bow. So you can take a supported bridge pose like Sashi, and once you're supported, it's kind of nice on your sacrum if you walk the feet and knees a little narrower. And these guys have these beautiful back bends. So here you want to roll the shoulders in and lift your sternum up. It's kind of nice after all the core work we did, if you can get yourself into a back bend, bridge pose, or upward bow. Beautiful, beautiful. Just let your head go. Yes. Now, if you're on the block, go ahead and stay there. If you guys are in upward bow, go ahead and come down, and it's always good to do another one of those. The second one's always a little juicier. So rest, a breath or two, and then when you're ready, just push up one more time. And grab these elbows on your way up this time. Okay, go ahead and push, push, push. There we go. Yeah, so I'm just giving Jason a little more space in his upper back here by rotating the elbows in. So the shoulders have a little bit of a wrap then. Beautiful. They've got just gorgeous back bends, beautiful practices. And then when you're done, you can remove the block or come on down, give the knees a little hug, and start to rock from side to side. Or circle the knees around if you want to. And I'm gonna give you a choice with the final finishing poses as well. So if you wanna take shoulder stand, you can kick the feet over the head in plow, take the hands onto the back and bring the legs up to shoulder stand. If you have a tight neck, you might want to have a blanket or two to put your shoulders on and have the head off, okay? If any of you don't want to do shoulder stand at home, a nice alternative is to grab that same blanket or a couple blankets or the block like this. I'm not going to do it here. Got this thing on my back. But you can put it right under your lower back, under your sacrum, and bring the legs up in Viparita Karani. Yeah. So we'll take about 10 really super slow breaths here. Toes touching so you're not tensing up your seat. The feet reaching right on up. And just allow the back to relax into your hands, to soften into your hands. So the steadiness in this pose comes in the base, which is the arms, and lifting up. And though there's action in the legs, keeping the toes together, I want you to just soften and let any tension, any stress drain right out of your body, right? Especially out of the lower back. It's a nice therapeutic pose for the lower back. Shoulder stand. Great. And then slowly start to let the feet go over your head towards the floor. If your feet don't make it to the floor, keep your hands on the back, okay? Keep your back supported. So don't force, never force, especially with this much weight on your neck. So if they reach easily here like Jody, you can interlace the fingers and stretch them away. Beautiful. You can take the Karnapidasana variation, let the knees come down by the ears. Either keeping the hands forward like Justin or grabbing your heels like Jody. And then when you're ready, take the arms forward, use your arms and your abs to slowly come on down. If you do any lotus variations, anything you want to do is fine. Beautiful. And then allow the hands to hug in close to your body. If you did the shoulder stand plow variation, it's nice to counter with Matsyasana fish. So your sternum is going to lift up, chest is going to lift up, the head releases back so you can see what's behind you. So press actively into your elbows a little bit and get that light on the head. Yeah, so you're not sitting right on the head. Yeah. Now, if you have trouble letting the head drop back, you could roll over and take Sphinx pose again, or just turn the head side to side. And then when you're ready, ease out of that. And then before you take Shavasana, I just want you to assess and adjust anything that needs to be adjusted, whether it's your clothes, if it's cool where you are, put a blanket on. These guys, you have those little hand things if you want to cover your eyes for Shavasana. Maybe you need to give the knees a hug. Maybe you want to take a twist. Really listen to your body. Feel what's going on. And when you're feeling good, stretch out the arms, stretch out the legs, and give yourself a good rest, 5 or 10 minutes at least. I'm going to adjust these guys. And you take as much time at home as you need. And I'll sign off. Namaste. So if you have a friend, have them adjust you.